will briefly remind you of what is HOTREC. Most of you know, because as I said, it's the first time I appear in front of you. Then I will speak in general about the crisis in the hospitality industry, because this is what I've been asked to speak about. And let's look at it, as was said by the previous professor from the university. Let's look at it, at the crisis as opportunities. Let's see which responses, incomplete I'm sure, and I agree, but which response have been provided at EU level, which response, some response provided national level, responses which should be provided at national association level, and finally also at the enterprise level. And many of those topics have already been touched upon, so I apologize for any repetition. Brief introduction for HOTREC. HOTREC is an umbrella. HOTREC is an umbrella of national association. We bring together 39 national associations in 24 European countries. And our job is very simple. We represent the hospitality industry vis-à-vis the European Union institution. What does it mean? Very simply, we monitor what is happening in Brussels. When a new measure is in the pipeline of likely interest to our sector, we inform our various national associations, the 39 I just mentioned, and together with them, we try to elaborate a common European response. This is very short, but this takes a lot of time. And usually when I came in front of you the previous year, what I was doing was a panorama, an overview of all what was cooking in Brussels. Last year I didn't come, but my young colleague came, Marco Vallini, and he described, I know in detail, the new food labeling rules. In my speech I will speak about VAT, and later on my colleague from Denmark, Henrik Christoffersen, will come back on the service directive, which is calling for classification and more effort at open level in relation to quality. So this is really our core business. Nonetheless, today I've been asked to speak a little bit about the crisis and the hospitality industry at European level. But first of all, just to remind you, just a few figures. What does the European hospitality sector represent? 1.6 million enterprise. That's quite a lot. Over 9 million persons employed. And when you compare to other major sectors, like automotive production, agriculture, you see that we are making much less the headline that they are. So, it was already mentioned before, it is important to put tourism more on the front scene. At urban level, but also at national level, of course. And this is the data from 3 years ago, but it was 163 billion. When you compare, this is exactly the same thing as the chemical sector at that time. So we should be proud to work in this sector. This sector is undergoing very difficult time for the moment, but it will recover. Also another very major element is the dimension of enterprise. We should never lose that from sight. 99% of enterprise employ less than 50 people, and 92% of enterprise all over Europe employ less than 10 people. This is, of course, a very major characteristic when we look into the sector. The crisis that has been said, and very eloquently by Professor before, very quickly, of course, the crisis combined with lack of confidence has had a direct impact on industry everywhere. Business travel went down, business event went down, private trips outing went down, and when they still are taking place, the people look for cheaper price, and the cost of credit, in addition, has gone up. So this is, in summary, the causes of the difficulties of the sector. Those are figures from the UN WTO World Tourist Barometer, and you can see that whereas on average in the previous year there was growth, but nonetheless the growth was smaller in Europe than in the world. So Europe was already losing market shares,